Kuve,
well,
I think you could say the same thing.
The Korean ladder really is a very good indicator of individual skill, and the fact that Crown and Kuve have been sitting in the top 10 pretty reliably, and Crown going as high as #1 at times, is impressive.
That is interesting. Well, here we go, picks and bans for the final game between Samsung and Longzhu. Don't worry, we've got a whole nother series after this between Empire and Jin Air, but first we see who takes this best of 3. Fiora, Tom Kench banned out by Samsung, Callista, and Lysandra banned by Longzhu.
So they're probably going to do the Rise ban third again because that's a Kuve specialty. And so they've stuck to the same bans this whole game.
Yep.
But every game so far, Samsung's mixed it up. Now they're not going to take the GP, and they're going to take the Alistar first. So they got Alistar in the first game, but it was in the second round of the draft. Now we know that Longzhu highly prioritizes this Corki. They first picked it last game, and they got a really nice early advantage, but just couldn't close. It'll be Corki Rek'Sai.
Yep. And it is a flex pick, of course. We don't quite know where that Corki's going to go. They played it in 2 different lanes already tonight, but yeah, Lucian Victor seems like a pretty safe way to go. That is what they're going to pick.
Well, Samsung showed that they can turtle long enough to turn a Lucian Victor teamfight composition into a win if given the opportunity. Lulu falling way down the draft this time.
Yeah. And Misfortune just not seen at all.
I think the E nerfs really hurt her.
Yep. Seems like she's maybe just down and out.
I'm sure she'll still be used. It will just be more situational.
No Kindred tonight either, which is interesting.
That one is
that
one is a bit more interesting to me. But then again, neither of these junglers has shown a strong affinity for the AD junglers yet. I mean, we've seen the Graves come out from Ambition in game #1, but it looked pretty unimpressive.
All right, so Gnar and Bard. So really trying to get back to what worked for them so well in game #1 with the change of Chaser playing Rek'Sai instead of the Elise.
Yeah, they can't take the Lucian this game, though, so they're going to have to find another solution. Captain Jack could certainly play the Corki again. They could go Jace here.
Yeah.
I think you take the Poppy here again if you're Samsung. Why the hell not? There's not even a Fiora in this game to be annoying. And Kuve, once he actually got into his element and was able to team fight, showed a lot of prowess on that champion.
Wouldn't be surprised to see them pick that up.
So here we go, last 2 picks.
Okay.
Yeah, the Elise not a surprise.
Yeah, makes sense.
And the Poppy. So basically, Samsung, they're going to be running a very similar composition, except with the Alistar and the Elise instead, but their carries, Poppy, Victor, and Lucian all remain the same as last game.
Yeah. All right, final pick coming in for Longzhu. Are they going to give the Corki over to Captain Jack, or are we going to see an AD carry picked instead?
It's going to be hard for them to play poke against Alistar, Elise, Poppy. There's a lot of engage there, many opportunities to set up flanks.
You wouldn't go for something like a Tristana then, would you?
I mean, I don't think double AD with Tristana here is going to be particularly strong unless you want to split with Tristana, which can be difficult. I think you play something AoE. I like the Cassiopeia here. Take something a little bit more AoE focused, teamfight focused in this particular game. But this is also going to mean really the first time that we've seen Longzhu play a teamfight focused composition if they lock in the Cassiopeia.
Yeah. Well, you wanted it.
I'm
wanted
gonna
this.
I'm gonna get it.
You
Good.
asked for this, and it will be the Cassiopeia locked in for Coco.
So about grouping this time for IM. They lost in the team fights in the last game, got outscaled, didn't have the right team fighting composition, and couldn't close through split pushing. And now they're just going to try and 5-man it instead. Lots of magic damage, though. That's the one major concern. Corki's damage is majority magic these days. So they are going to get hit very hard by any kind of Aegis buy that Samsung goes through. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what timing the Aegis is and what some of the major MR items are going to be.
You think we're going to see a lane swap?
Hard to say at this point. They might try and keep the Poppy down again and have Gnar, who's a little bit more of a safe farmer. use his range advantage. But we'll
be.
see what they try and do. Longzhu did want to go for the lane swap last game, but that made a little more sense considering that they had a TF in the mid lane and that the lane swap empowered the TF to be able to make ports in case anybody tried to break their freezes.
Right.
So I think it was a bit better in the last game overall, but we could still see a lane swap here.
All right, well, either way, an exciting moment as Samsung tries to grab their third match win of the season. Longzhu looking for their second, and our first Game 3 of Champion Spring here in 2016. Should be good. Looks like the players are all loaded up, so let's get in the game.
Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you, holding hands.
All right, we are back again, and this is it. The game to decide who gets their first loss of the season. Will it be Samsung or will it be Longzhu?
You know, that Tears for Fears song that I think was covered by Lord right there is actually surprisingly appropriate for professional gamers. Everybody wants to rule the world, true. That's why we're here. There's a room where the light won't find you. Probably if you're a pro gamer, that's true.
Yeah, that's also true. I see it. It's actually very appropriate. That works. Everybody wants to win the worlds. SKT's like, nah, we got this.
SKT's like, nah, we got swept by Jin Air.
It was a fluke. It was a fluke, man.
Is that what you tell yourself, Doa?
Hey, all I know is that in 2015, there were a lot of games in spring where they put Easy Hoon in first, lost the game, put Faker in, still lost the match. And you know what? They won both seasons here in Korea, and then they won Worlds. So I'm not too worried about it.
It's a long season. It's a long year, for sure.
Yeah. Not too worried about it.
So lane swap from Samsung, actually. And we see the double jungle starting. They may be trying to call this one, no deep vision in early, so tough to say what Ishima's gunning for. They may have assumed that since Longzhu lane swapped Corki in the last game that they were going to try it again, and so attempted to call this and then inadvertently given it over to Longzhu once again. Ah, the mind games.
Yes. So at least Longzhu is going to be pleased by this.
Are you pleased by this, Toa?
Nah, not really.
But you love ARAM.
Well, I do, but only when people fight.
But
If
the
it
essence
was
of ARAM is poking.
If it was ARAM, though, and people just stood there like clearing minion waves and not engaging, that wouldn't be too much fun either, would it?
It would if you like minion wave manipulation.
Yeah, but you can't really do that when you're in a group of 5 randoms and everyone's just trying to get whatever CS they can.
I'm glad neither of us like solo queue.
Yeah, well, I mean, I enjoy it once in a while. Once every few months or so.
For the rage-inducing nature of it gets to
Right.
you.
Well, that's just part of being a support main. I mean, you have to, if you're a support main, you're just going to be a very angry person in general.
You're supposed to be helpful, though, always warding things.
Well, you are.
Helping
and
your
nobody
ADCS.
appreciates it. No one. And now, like, you do even more of the warding because you're the only one that ever has wards.
It's a tough life.
It's like everyone gets the trinket automatically when they run out of the fountain, but they don't use it. They don't use it.
It's even more depressing now, right?
It is. It's like, look, you've been given this thing that lets you ward, and you're not even hitting the button. It's like, don't you wonder what happened? Don't you wonder what the 4 button does on your keyboard? It puts down a ward. It doesn't just not do anything.
Well, what's the point if it doesn't kill people?
It can, though. Wards lead to more deaths in League than probably any other item. Why don't people get this?
They don't appreciate the foresight that it gives you, right?
I guess so.
It's like a portal into the future.
It is.
It's ahead of its time, really.
It's like, hey, I bet you get a lot of kills if you know where someone's going to be.
Well, much better lane swap this time from Samsung. They're not going to try and make plays on the mid lane. Instead, they are going to set Kuve up for more success. And so,
That's a good
Kuve
idea.
is going to now return to base, pick up some items. And we'll see where he goes after that. Looks like he will be healing up and heading into the top side, and he will not be quite as gimped in the early game as he was last time around.
Yeah. Now, The real thing for me that I want to look at this game is Chaser's position. You know, we've talked about it a lot, but it really was a big part of the last game. You know, Chaser getting caught led to Samsung getting Barons, getting other objectives. He really needs to be extremely careful about where he goes.
Well, his early game was great. It was only when it came down to a very delicate split push situation, and
yeah,
it can't be overemphasized enough. They could not really fight those team fights. That was not going to be an option, especially with a Poppy on the other side, because if they try and group and fight, first off, you have the inferior team fight. Second off, the CC was insane from Samsung. And third off, somebody, at least one person, is going to be leaving that fight via Poppy ult immediately, and you're going to have a 5v4 when you already have a worse team fight.
Sure.
So it's very delicate to try and play like we saw Longzhu attempt to close in that last game, and they were punished for it.
Looks like Longzhu is going to be going to be getting this turret a little bit quicker than Samsung, but it's still going to be another even trade. Then the mid turrets were left.
Yeah. And Samsung, though, they're on the bottom side of the map this time. Unlikely that they will have enough time to do this dragon, but we'll see what the recall timers are from Longzhu.
Yeah.
And Poppy in the top side jungle right now. Chaser trying to deny Kuve's some CS, will succeed in doing so.
Yeah, a little bit. Doesn't look like they're going to go for the dragon, though. Recalls coming in already for Stitch and Wraith.
Yeah, it's too late, unfortunately, for them. They didn't have a nice little window like Longzhu did in the early minutes of the previous match. So, Crown now just cheating down, knowing that the Poppy will be back. They see Poppy with the Wolf Spirit in the jungle.
All right, nice flash ult from Coco coming in, takes a lot of damage in response, but Ambition already going down. First blood goes over to Coco, and it looks like they're going to get crowned too. Expression picking up a kill. That was very well coordinated by Longzhu.
Okay, Longzhu. So they went for the aggressive play when they were pushed out, but that was a huge mistake by Samsung.
Yeah.
Expression wasn't on the map, and Kuve was seen by the Wolf Spirit in his blue jungle. So Longzhu knew that there was really no way that could have been turned around, and that is exactly the wrong time to play aggressively if you are Samsung.
Yep. Coco with just a great initiation there. Flash, ulting, two people.
Coco's a great Cassiopeia player. We've seen it from him before.
Certainly is.
And her chase down is intense in the early game. And so very sloppy attempt right there. They knew exactly what was going on. In fact, Kuve saw he was grappling with Chaser by the Wolves, so he knew that the Wolf Spirit had been taken because it was taken from right under his nose, and he was already seen by it. So that was a communication error for Samsung, 100%. They're going to go for it, though,
yeah,
try and kill Coco.
Pushing Coco away from that turret. There's a nice cocoon for the follow-up, and that's an easy kill. Talk about well-coordinated. Great play from Wraith to come over the wall and get Coco in position to get locked up by Ambition.
Yeah, so they capitalized at the very least on Coco's lack of flash to try and take something back from this situation.
Well, they get a kill.
They do get a kill.
They get it onto Ambition, which is probably not the most useful person to have that kill on, but it's something, you know?
Yeah, they are losing the CS battle ever so slightly, however, as Expression is going to catch a large wave here and then increase his CS advantage even more.
Yep. Wraith and Ambition coming up, but I don't think Expression's in any sort of danger. Ambition giving up first blood. I feel like we're just back to the good old days, you know?
Over aggression.
Yeah, everything is how it should be. You may have gone to the jungle, but you can't take the...
He still goes to the grave first.
He does. You can't take the first blood giving out of the player. You can take the player out of the mid.
Yeah, look at that advantage that opened up off that huge wave that Expression took and is now carefully farming in the top side once again. Seeing about double CS from him in the early game.
It's a lot. Now, will Longzhu may be able to rotate over to take this dragon after they give Coco the blue buff? Maybe. We just saw the vision of Samsung, and they don't really have any on that part of the map right now. They do have a ward in the dragon pit, though. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to do it.
No, not enough of an opportunity yet. And they had good eyes onto Coco the entire time. A couple of pink wards in that river. Jack now going to sit here with the package and try and set up a play with Chaser.
They could go over the wall here, and they will. Yeah, Stitch flashing immediately, taking a lot of damage. Phosphorus Bomb doing work. Wraith pushes Chaser away, teleport canceled. Kuve and Expression not coming down. Pure joining the fight, Ambition joining as well. Chaser in a lot of trouble. Another phosphorus bomb comes down, but they do lose Chaser, and actually Stitch doesn't die. Oh, he made it out.
Oh, the turnaround.
Wow, I can't believe it. Ambition with 2 kills there. That was so close, and now Pure has to use that magical journey to get away. Only slows Ambition, though. I think Pure's in trouble, too.
And
Bye,
there's
Pure.
Yep, that's it. Red
Triple
buff.
kill for Ambition.
Yeah,
Not
delayed.
officially, but overall.
Yeah, delayed triple there. And what a turnaround from Samsung. Both top laners tried to TP in and use that ability, but cancels on both sides. And no movement there from the mid laners really to get back into that situation.
Well,
Coco's just a little bit late.
Stitch is very lucky that he didn't die right away there, but he made it out. And Longzhu, maybe, do you think they over-pursued a little bit?
Well, I think the idea was right, but the execution. So Jack comes over the wall with the package, and he chunks out Stitch. I mean, that's great, right? You force the flash immediately. He's not going to be able to stick around. You already won the battle right there. You don't know where Ambition is. You know both top laners have teleports up, so they overcommitted past that juncture, right? And Stitch just barely living, so Samsung getting a bit lucky helped too, but there's a reason why you don't commit to those kind of plays without full information, and that's why.
Longzhu's going to try to respond with this Rift Herald, probably giving that over to Expression, and we'll see what he decides to push. No, you have to the eye. There we go.
The Ice's most vulnerable point. It's obviously a Zelda boss.
Yeah, I've seen that one before. Hi, dear clay pots.
Zelda, evolution just doesn't work in Zelda because if it was such an obvious, glaring weakness like all bosses have in Zelda games, they never would have made it through natural selection.
Or you take, for example, those spiders that just like clockwork turn around and expose their vulnerable parts. You can hit them with a slingshot. Yeah, dude. Those animals would not make it on planet Earth. They're like, well, I'm safe as long as I don't turn around. Oh, but I can't help myself. I have to turn around. Oh, he killed me with a slingshot again. It's tough.
Who made those things?
Skulltula. What?
Skulltula.
Skulltula? Skulltula was the name of my death metal band in high school. That's right. I get those confused sometimes.
Skulltula is a good name, though. I'll give it to you.
Skulltula this summer at the Metrodome. Actually, the Metrodome's gone now, so never mind.
Also, no one knows where the Metrodome is because no one lives in the Midwest, Doa.
A good, at least 10 people out there know. Well, Pure and Captain Jack scared away. Doing a little bit of work in the bot lane before getting chased off by Samsung. Uh-oh. All right, nice headbutt pulverize. And Longzhu in trouble. Pure already going down, and now they've got Captain Jack and Chaser on the run. Jack very low. Teleport coming in for Longzhu. Maybe they can turn this one, but not soon enough as another double kill comes in for Ambition. Looks like Ambition may go down in the end. Trying to make it away. Wow, he lives. Nope, Expression gets the shutdown there. Coco turning, gets an ult. Meanwhile, Stitch takes out Ambition, or Expression rather.
And Coco has to
fight.
flash out of that fight after being cornered and stunned by the gravity field from Victor. So that is definitely a nice trade over for Samsung as they keep getting more and more kills here, piling it on.
Yeah, Ambition really piling on the kills specifically.
Now, unfortunately, a lot of those kills going over to Ambition, but
Right.
I mean, Wraith, they decide to start this. Wraith has his ultimate already popped. Pure just melts as a bard. Stitch going to try and follow this through. And Chaser was just a little bit late to the start of that fight, so the burst had already gone down by the time he arrived. TP going to follow here from Kuve. Kuve going to turn around and try and deal with Expression right now. Look how long Ambition lives right here, and that requires Expression to overextend. And he flashes, but the autos will go ahead and follow him.
I mean,
to his doom.
Kuve was such a big part of that fight too. The first thing he did was just knock Coco out of there. And without Coco joining, there's just nothing that Longzhu could do to even go even. Even go even. Oh, that worked.
It makes sense.
You get the idea. Oh, English. But Longzhu in trouble now. They're still even on gold, but they've lost the first dragon. They've lost a lot of map positioning, and Captain Jack may lose his life dodging that cocoon with the Valkyrie just in time.
Wow, that was quite close. Ambition
Yep.
getting found out by a ward there and seeing just enough for the Valk, but he did have flash too, so just in case, would have gotten out of that. But this this composition from Samsung working really well for them. Exception, of course, still that Poppy, who has had her CS nearly doubled, and that's the only reason why Longzhu is anywhere close to an even gold total in this game. So Samsung, again, not making the most out of the lane swap and putting Cuvée in a hole, but that's on the team, really.
Yeah. And we've seen Cuvée climb out of some pretty big holes, like last game.
Ambition also really suffering in the farm department, but he's made up for it in terms of kills.
Yeah, I think he's okay. 6-2-1, that makes up for a little bit of a CS deficit, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's also, on that last fight, was preemptively there ahead of Chaser. And in the fight previously, turned Chaser's gank around by having an opportune timing for a counter gank on the overextension. Longzhu's still going to be powerful late, though. This Cassiopeia going to be a force for Coco, as he has been able to pick up a kill and also continuously stack his tier.
You're going to have to be so careful, though, as Coco, to not get CC'd at all, because Crown and Stitch are just going to annihilate you immediately.
Yeah. Cuvée, too, has an opportunity to get a Poppy heroic charge in there, try and set up a stun.
What stops Cuvée from getting into the back lines onto Coco? I suppose Expression, maybe Pure, but
yeah,
it's a problem.
They don't have the best peel. Obviously, you prefer to use Gnar to engage here. Chaser is probably going to be the best choice to play goalie for Ambition.
We'll have to see how he does.
Or for Coco, rather.
Dragon is up. So far, Samsung with a little bit better vision on there.
Yeah, trying to defend this too. Might as well just start the Dragon stacking early. It really worked out for them in the last game.
And no TPs for the top laners right now, so this is going to be a 4v4 if the fight happens. It's not. Samsung takes their second Dragon.
Great position for Samsung. I think Longzhu may be assuming they are further behind than they actually are right now. Sometimes you take a look at that scoreboard, see that it's 7-2, and it gets in your head a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you actually take a look at CS totals, especially in the jungle and top positions, they should realize that they're probably about even. So they could have maybe contested that a bit more aggressively. They're in a nice power spike for Corki right now with the T-Force and the BF swords, so there's no reason really for them to fall behind in that particular instance. Chaser and Expression now back off to the Herald.
Yep. The Rift Squatter just using Baron's house until Baron gets back.
What a jerk.
I know, right? Hope he cleans up.
He doesn't.
Oh. You think you'd be able to see?
He lives eye goop everywhere.
Ugh, gross. It's gonna take a lot of medication.
I still don't understand what that eye is for.
I mean, how do you even put drops in that? His arms are too short. To have somebody else do it for you, I guess.
Maybe Baron spits in it for him.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know what that eye is for.
It's for staring directly at the sun all day, Noah.
You're right.
Don't you do anything?
That's never caused anyone any problems. But at night he gets to enjoy the beautiful... No, wait, there's never night in Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, there isn't.
It's always the same. Which further cements our theory that Summoner's Rift is actually Valhalla and everyone's already dead. It's like the Sixth Sense, only much less mysterious.
It's definitely an accurate depiction. I can't wait for them to release the lore about that.
Yep.
Where we're vindicated.
But then what happens in the world they've built? It doesn't matter because everyone's just dead already?
Yeah, well, nothing matters already because it's bad. So.
Tell us how you really feel, though. I'm still not sure really what your opinions are on this. Ground getting some damage done to that mid lane turn. Baron is coming in a minute. Good thing the Rift Squatter has been dealt with. We'll be thankful until one of the teams tries to kill him.
Well, they are at least getting some pressure down on this top side with the Herald buff.
A little bit. I think the age of Poppy has begun in Korean League of Legends.
That's a scary statement to make. Is that like the age of Aquarius? Is there some
The
sort
age of Poppy.
sort of revelation that we are going to have as a race of people.
I think it's more like the age of Ultra. More than anything.
That ends poorly for Ultron. Is it going to end poorly for Poppy?
Probably. Yeah, I would imagine
Do you
the
notice how-
balance team is going to balance Poppy right out of there
Ooh.
at some point. Oh, that ult missed from Pure.
Yeah, just going into depression.
Yeah.
Not doing much, so that's not going to be useful for this blue buff defense anymore. And can't quite get it. It will be Stitch who grabs it. Death Ray over the wall.
Hey, Lucian's with the blue buff. Not bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
Use it.
The most important part is Cassiopeia doesn't have it.
Yes. And more culling, more poking. Stitch will be happy to provide that for Samsung.
More jungling from Ambition. Not
Yeah.
checking his blue buff for wards.
No.
There he goes. Finds the
okay.
pink ward now.
He's 6-2 and 1. He's way too strong to worry about that kind of thing.
He's not afraid of wards anymore.
No.
He's passed beyond them.
He's like, well, let them see me. I'm a 6-2-1
Look at me and my
elite.
magnificence.
Bathe in my glory. Bask in the sunlight of my power.
Especially Rift Herald. He loves staring at the sun, so.
That's right. He does.
It's an eye exclusively for Eclipse viewing.
Huh. It's gotta hurt. Poor guy. People come and punch you in it. I mean, you really have to watch out for like low-hanging stuff if you're the Rift Herald. You know, you walk.
Probably why he's
along
in the river and not in the jungle.
Yeah, I suppose. You hit a tree branch on that? Oh, man. Got him right in the giant back eye. Ouch. I mean, what happens if he trips and falls backwards? I fell right in my eye. Ow.
Speaking of terrible evolution in Zelda, there's another one for you.
Maybe
Creatures that can never survive.
It's true. Maybe it's one of those eyes that like doesn't actually see as we know sight, but just senses things like light and dark and maybe heat. You know, like the UV spectrum. But again, what is that? What good does it do you on your back? You see flocks of birds flying over, I guess. That doesn't seem very helpful.
Doesn't seem like he can hunt birds, really.
No, I mean, you just watch them.
Okay, I've got it.
Loves
So,
watching birds.
so maybe his greatest predator is the dragon who flies around overhead.
Oh yeah, okay. I see where you're going with this.
He has to be very worried about death from above. So having acute vision directly upward is quite important.
Yeah, he's worried, man.
But he should probably
He's
have
like-
some giant sunglasses.
He's really worried that Riot's going to eventually release that Dragon Champion they showed us like 2 years ago. It's like, Ao Shin could be coming any second, man. I got to watch out. It all makes sense now. This is just a teaser for Ao Shin. He's finally coming.
The only teaser
Get
there
hyped, guys.
was the Chinese fans, I think.
It's real. All-Stars 2038.
Ao
Jammed
Shin
in real
complete.
time. Well, Dragon's back up in 10 seconds. Longzhu trying to position to get this one. Okay, they caught Wraith and Ambition with the ult. Do they have the follow-up? Is Wraith pushing Chaser back, popping that ult. Not a lot of damage done by Longzhu, but they get a bit of vision. Chaser needs to be careful, man. Takes a big Thunderlord's proc from Stitch. Gotta watch out.
Pure's Bard ults were generally pretty good in the last game, but they've been pretty lackluster here. Ambition and Wraith are simply too tanky to be caught out like that. Sure, they trade ult for ult, but how much time have they actually bought? Especially with the Dragon still alive, Ambition takes a giant chunk from Captain Jack.
Yeah, at least not exactly the tankiest jungler these days. But they do have the positioning onto the Dragon. All right, Pure with no ult. Seems to never have it for these Dragon fights today. And can Longzhu even stop this? They've got to make a move now. Dragon resets, gains a bit of health back.
Just a smidge, though.
A little bit, not
Ambition
enough.
wants this back in. He's not Spider form. There he goes.
Yep.
Does get the smite off, so Chaser takes the smite too. Actually, yeah.
Didn't smite.
No, didn't smite, yeah. So
Didn't get
Ambition taking that one out. And they haven't really done much on the top side of the map in return. Kuve has managed to keep the tower upright, even though it is getting quite low.
Yep. And Longzhu gonna maybe make a play for the mid lane turret here, but I don't know if they're even going to be able to do it. Yeah, Samsung seems to have the lane pushing back already.
I mean, it's Lucian and Victor. It's going to be really hard for them to deal with this. Chaser.
That's the same problem Longzhu had last game.
Yep.
Just too much wave clear.
can't keep it up. And remember how long it took for the mid lane turret to go down in the last game?
Yes, I do. I do.
Well, surprise, it's going to happen again, Noah.
32 minutes in game 2. See if we can break the record here in game 3.
For latest mid lane turret kill.
Yep. I mean, it's record for this series anyway. I don't know what the actual record is.
Probably is about that, actually, in professional play right now, even though it does take a long time for pro players, but it's not.
Well, the mid lane turret's not going to last that long. Actually, the TP canceled Expression having to run back from the base. Ouch. That was maybe not the best place to TP from. Or two.
It certainly wasn't.
Yeah,
Communication seems to be suffering a little bit of a breakdown on Longzhu after that last game.
Yeah.
They have not been coordinating anywhere near as well as they did in game 1 or for the majority of game number 2.
Yeah, it really seems that way. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of cohesive movement from
It's a lot of really sloppy mistakes, and Samsung has been able to capitalize on them and come out to an early lead. They had to fight back from a huge deficit in the last game, but not so this time.
Yep. Expression doing his best to defend this top lane. Throws Big Braum at Stitch. That's the league version of Big Ben. I've decided now. We're going to use it.
Big Braum, the clock.
Big Braum, yep. What else would you name it, you know?
No, I think it's good.
All right.
I approve your naming conventions.
Glad you're on the same page as me with that one. It's important stuff, you know? This whole thing could fall apart.
Without Big Braum,
That's right.
how else would we know what time it is?
Exactly. I mean, there's certainly no clock on the screen that we could just look at.
And besides, Nar is very courteous, though. You know, if you ever walk up to Nar and ask him for the time, he just throws a clock tower to show you.
See, this is going to be one of those, like, front page Reddit requests and just like wouldn't it be cool if Riot made it so we could see what time it was on the clock that
Those
Gentleman Nar throws, and it would be the actual time?
Noah.
I know, right? It's like, come on, guys. If they're not using our skin ideas,
If they're
not going to do that stuff
Here's
either.
a proof that Riot won't listen to you. Walker Texas Rengar is not a skin, all right? That is the single best skin idea Noah has ever had, and it's not a skin. So if that's not a skin, your idea, which is infinitely worse, is also not going to be listened to.
Come on, isn't there some like NA pro drama you could be posting about? Seriously, Rito. Come on, Red. Get it together. Where are your priorities? Baron looks like the priority now in this game. Maybe. Oh, clipping the ward again. Tricky. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that ward can't be seen by anything. Do you think so?
It does look a little questionable.
Yeah.
That ward has been, we've seen a lot of pro players in Korea placing that ward right now. And
Yeah.
it seems like you can see it if you have a pink ward there, but I'm not sure how easy it is. You can definitely see it if there's a pink ward in the vicinity.
Maybe if you walk up to it with the sweeper.
Yeah.
But it's definitely in a good place. I'll have to test that out. I'll have to have you test that out. Tell me what happens.
I see how this is, Noah.
Yeah, let me know. Uh-oh, Cap Jack over the wall. They try to catch Wraith. Bardalt misses. Wraith does have to burn his flash, though.
Attempted to engage right there. Could have perhaps just burned his ultimate instead after, but yeah, probably, no, better just use the flash.
I mean, Pure's Bardalt should be back up in time for the Dragon. A minute and a half. They could really use this one.
Okay, so now we have this next Dragon coming up for number 4 for Samsung, and that's really been their priority now. They have that mid lane too, so they're going to have a lot more pressure. Uh-oh, Expression's going to get caught outright here.
Yeah, I don't think he's making it out of this one. He's trying. No Meganar anytime soon, though. Nice
Great
knock-up.
ult.
Yeah, no kidding. Keeper's verdict. But actually, Expression does get out with the bounce. Meanwhile, Longzhu goes for the Baron. TP coming in. Wraith keeping Coco in the pit. Magical Journey available, but Wraith, can he get to it in time? Or Jacer can, rather. They make it out.
Oh, they're going to keep doing this, Baron? No,
I don't think
turning
so.
back. Stitch and Ambition aren't there. Good reaction, but Samsung's going to cut them off as they get to the mid turret. So in the end, this cross-map play is going to result in a tier 2 here for Samsung, and that is going to be absolutely devastating right as this Dragon is about to spawn. So they thought they were being clever, but Kuve gets back to the TP, and Expression can't respond with the TP of his own because he was already chunked out.
Yep. Dragon in 20, and Longzhu, I feel like it's kind of do or die time.
Oh.
They absolutely need this. Stitch playing it a little bit.
Okay, so he's trying to pop the
unsafely.
culling to force him into Mega Gnar right now.
And he does, I believe. Yep.
Oh, so many people going back. Ambition falling back. Are they just going to give up this dragon? It looks like that's what they're going to do.
They
Oh.
can. They can.
They can,
That's
but
big.
I don't know if that's the right call right now. Especially after they had just gotten the Mega Gnar out, everyone recalling. So they trade a tier 2 for the dragon, but that would have put him on the cusp of their number 5.
Yeah. Playing it safe, but maybe playing a bit too safe. Hey, that's looks like a pretty good place for a ward, doesn't it?
Yeah, they pick it out, so I saw it go in that time.
Yeah. All right, might have a bit of a fight at the blue buff here. Chaser taking a bit of damage. And here comes Longzhu. They can't get the blue buff. Uh-oh, Captain Jack in with the cocoon. Nice pulverizer Wraith. Goodbye, Captain Jack. Didn't escape that time. Chaser caught a little bit. Meanwhile, Kube versus Coco on the outside of this fight. Kube obviously winning that one big time. Keeper's verdict keeps Coco there. Tries to flash away. Good turnaround out, but it's already a double kill for Ambition. And Longzhu losing another team fight. No kills there. 3-0 for Samsung.
Well, it wasn't even really a team fight. Longzhu just caught out in the jungle and engaged upon immediately. Kube managed to tie up Coco on the side and nearly take him out in that 1v1 too. So this will be an easy Baron for Samsung, and they are really starting to get rolling right here in game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what we talked about a few minutes ago. Longzhu just is lacking a lot of coordination this game. I mean, everyone seems to kind of be doing their own thing, but
I mean, they're trying to contest
Oh,
this
dear.
blue buff, but Jack just gets nailed by the cocoon. And look at the chain CC. He never even has a chance after that cocoon. Of course, the pulverize coming in straight into the gravity field. And look at Kube just doing a wonderful job of dealing with Ambition on the side. And Coco's gonna flash, but he managed to land the stun onto Poppy, but Ambition closes the gap with the repel.
well, every time we've had something resembling a team fight in this game, Kube has been just all over Coco, and there's really not a lot you can do if you're Coco. Aside from run away.
No, I mean, we have the Spirit Visage done right now. There's no way for Coco to get into this fight in the first place because he just doesn't have the necessary movement to get past Poppy, who's sort of just playing a blocker right here and freezing him with the Iceborne Gauntlet and pushing him around with the Heroic Charge.
Yeah, you can't really come in on an obvious flank with Cassiopeia. You need to have some sort of peel to keep you alive before you get people low enough to start chasing them, but it's not working out for Longzhu. This would be a really big result if Samsung was able to take their 3rd match win of the season and take down Longzhu.
Yeah, this is their first real test, and they lost game 1 pretty hard. Nearly lost game number 2 before having a comeback, but they've been really going blow for blow in this one. They've been answering their macro deficiencies with faster collapses and better ganks from Ambition, which is surprising to say because, you know, if you showed me these two jungler scores, I would not have guessed one was Ambitions and one was Chasers in this game number 3.
We're kind of used to it being the opposite, aren't we?
Exactly.
Goodbye.
Would you like to defend this turret? I don't think you would.
Too bad. So all the turrets down except for the inhibitor turrets now.
It's one of the best things about Poppy, too. She's so useful in team fights. She's so useful in sieges. You can do so much.
Uh-oh. Wow, Wraith knocks Expression out of that hop. Expression just dead. Bardalt a little bit late. I feel like Pure's Bardalts have been really off tonight, too.
Wow, the coordination in CC has been really good from Samsung this game. Just chaining it without overlap to make sure they get some of these kills. It worked wonders on Jack earlier. Now they catch out Expression with a very nicely timed pull into Heroic Charge.
They've got the Baron buff.
Yep, it could
Everyone's
be.
got full health and mana. I mean, it looks like they're going to pull back and play it safe, but
no need to close right here. Baron buff
suppose.
is in its last 25% at the moment. Push up, you have the 2 inhibitors. Don't overcommit in a game where you have a 9k lead and a 2 inhib advantage. Instead, just go for the last inhibitor here.
suppose it's safe. Expression back up in 6 seconds. Not time enough to save this turret, perhaps.
We'll see what they want to do with this. How, I Expression being up is a major hindrance. Them to probably just back off after taking the turret. This is the right call.
Yeah, Expression hit with the cocoon immediately. Samsung trying to disengage, and it looks like they'll be able to do that without too much trouble.
No reason to let Expression get his Narbar up on you and try for the Hail Mary ultimate. There's no objectives to take right now, except for this dragon in a minute 20, so Samsung probably should play patient for that objective and take that just so they have another win condition with dragon number 5.
Yeah.
So the game plan should be right now, ward up the enemy's blue side, try and create a pick if you can. If you can't, then wait out the dragon, and then you can play a little bit more risky.
Yeah, Samsung with all the cards right now, at least.
Ambition has been really on point this game.
Yeah, he has. And we know it from hearing interviews with these other players and hearing them talk about it, but they really do look to Ambition to be sort of the leader and the veteran on this team, and it seems like he's honestly falling into the role pretty well so far.
Yeah, I'm still having some of those early game problems, but when it comes to late game, you can see that his shot calling and his more stalwart presence is certainly valuable.
Giving up first blood is just what he does, man. I mean, he's kind of like the Hulk. You got to get him angry to get him to perform.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works. That's exactly how it works.
Okay, so Samsung really wants this final inhibitor, but they're not going to do Dragon instantly.
You know what Ambition's secret really is, though?
What?
He's always angry. And they're trying to take this inhibitor. Bardal whiffs again.
Oh!
Wow, that was a very dead Corki. Very quickly chased her in the middle of the fight. Nice Gnarled, but where's the follow-up with Corki already dead? There's nothing. Samsung's got this game all but locked up as they push Coco away, as they push Coco into the afterlife, that is. This one is over, and Samsung will go 3-0 already in match score here in Champion Spring in Longzhu. They're going to have to settle for 1-1. What a match. What a comeback in this series for Samsung. GG.
Yeah, long.